What up, guys? Hope you're having a fantastic day. What's up, guys? How you doing? Hope you're having a great day. And as you can see from the title, we are talking about fitness. All right. Now, I'm 42 years old. All right, and I got an 8-pack. I haven't had one my whole life, but now I do have one. All right. So, what you're figuring out? Hey, what do I do to get an 8-pack? First of all, you got to start exercising. Not every single day. I'd say 2 times a week. You have to exercise at least 2 to 3 times a week. 3 times would be ideal. 2 times would be the best. Now, I don't have a trainer, so I'm doing this on my own. So it's basically how I eat and how I work out. Now, for you, if you're just starting off, you want to start off slow so you don't hurt yourself. But definitely, you're going to have to start running, okay? You have to start running. If you don't like running, the next best thing I would say is swimming, okay? The reason why you're gonna want to, this AC is pretty loud, let me turn this off. The reason why you're gonna wanna start running is because it's gonna cut the fat a lot faster than any other exercise you could possibly do, right? And that's what you want. You want to be able to slice through the fat and get down so that you can see what you're working with. If you're working with a 6-pack, if you're working with it, if you even have the ability to have an 8-pack, because the 8-pack are going to be those lower abdominals that have to come out. Now, another thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do ab exercises. For me, the best one is when I'm on the plank and I'm lifting up my legs. That's what really activates my lower abs. It hits everything at once. But then also, when I don't have time, I'll definitely go ahead and do abs in my room on the floor on a mat. I'll do abs in my room, and abs are really difficult to get to come out because they're just really difficult. They're very stubborn, so you have to hit them. You gotta hit them, and running helps that because it cuts the fat. And when you're running, you're also using your abdominals when you're running. Now, don't just go for a long jog. I already did that, and I got the benefits from that, but I don't do that anymore. I only do that like once a month, okay? What you're gonna wanna do is run and then walk. Run and then walk. If you can, if at all possible, you wanna sprint and then walk. And you're gonna think, oh, this is so goofy. People are gonna see me out there sprinting, da-da-da-da-da-da. Forget about all that shit. Just do it. Just get out there and run. First of all, you gotta get out there and run. Start with your jog. Jog isn't gonna do much to cut that. It'll cut the fat, yeah, but you're not gonna get that look, that those abs aren't gonna come out without like a high-paced stride, an actual sprint. So you're gonna wanna have at least one sprint in the middle of your intervals, at least one full-on sprint. You have to do that at least 2 times a week. If you can't, at least 4 times a month. Right? Spread out in the month, in each week, 4 times a month, however you want to divvy it up. And then the next month, 2 times a week. And then in the next month, 3 times a week. And what's going to happen is your fat's going to start cutting down. You're going to start dropping weight. Now, diet. Diet's the hardest one. Diet's the hardest one because everyone has different needs for the different frames of their body. So if you're large, you're 6'5", you're gonna have to eat what you eat more. I'm not 6'5", so I don't know how to maintain that frame. And you don't want to lose a lot of your muscles you've already built up. Because a lot of people I see are really big, but they don't have defined abs. Like their personal trainers are big, take off their shirt, and it's just like there's just no abs. So what you're gonna want to do is you want to cut down your diet to a way with low sugar. You still need sugar. I'm just saying you're gonna have to lower that sugar to a point that your body is gonna use its own insulin that it has in reserves. I'm not a dietitian, but this is what works for me. So you're gonna need the energy for running, so you're gonna need sugar. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the excess sugars, like your snacks, your chips, your extra salts, just your potato chips, just don't eat those because you do not need those at all. So just remove that from your diet. Cut down on the rice. What else? Cut down on the bread because the bread, the starch is just it really just sticks to the midsection like glue. So you want to cut those out. What you really want to do is eat a lot of those lean meats, of course, not too much, but eat your lean meats, eat your chicken. And then in the morning, have if you can, if you have time for it, if you have to go to work, you don't have time for this shit. But if you do have time, have a lean breakfast, like your eggs, orange juice, some days, and then just leave it at that. Don't add bread and all these other things on top. Like if you go out to breakfast, like you go out for a breakfast, and they're giving you eggs, sausage, bread, just eat the eggs, eat a little, like one piece of the sausage and just leave the rest on the table. Because what you're trying to do, you're trying to change your body. You're not trying to be like everybody else. You're not trying to eat everything that's been given to you. Like it seems wasteful, but when you do go out, you have to make these cuts. You have to make these cuts and watch like what you have to watch your calories like really closely. But what you have to do is intentionally cut down, right, while you're running and you're going to be working out. So yeah, if you do that intentionally, you'll see the weight go down. So yeah, you have a small breakfast. You have a very small lunch. Your lunch has to be just to sustain you because you're trying to get to dinner. Once you get to dinner, then you can have a little bit of a larger dinner, but I wouldn't like go all out. I would keep it within range. And once you get down to your suggested weight, I would say drop down 5 pounds even below that. So say if you're 180 and you're trying to get to 170, right? If you can all possible, get down to 165, right? And then you'll be, for you, it wouldn't even be underweight, you just be, normal weight. But then what you're gonna do is you're gonna work up. And what you're doing is you're gonna work up over months to slowly increase your weight, just a little bit, so you have more control of what you eat. So if you have to go to a party and you can't look funny, you're gonna drink some beers, and you're already like at 168, all right? Say I'm using me myself as an example, but if it's for you, you'll know your body style and what the parameters you're working under. You want to leave some space for those meals that you're gonna have in public. You're not gonna have this situation where someone's asking, "Oh, you're not drinking alcohol, you're not eating that much." Just go ahead and just eat all out for that situation, and that's a sacrifice for that situation. And then the next day you go back to the grind, because like your every day should be a grind. And then when you're around people, then you just kind of like with the collective. All right, that's what I do. Alcohol, of course, I still drink alcohol, but when I'm at home, I change how I drink alcohol. I used to be a heavy beer drinker. I love beer. Beer is the best, but beer gives you what? If you drink beer, a lot of beer, you get beer belly. So you're gonna want to cut that down and change the type of alcohol you're drinking. They have wine, champagne. I just found out about soju. It's a Korean alcohol, very inexpensive, and it gets you there quick. All different flavors, a little bit on the cheaper side, but it's like one of those social drinks if you're going out to a Korean hot pot. That's how I found out about it. So be careful. Don't just go all in. I mean, you get one bottle and you get knocked out, and don't make that a habit. That's just socially, and it's easier on your meal plan, like on the fat that it has. Vodka, a martini, shaken not stirred, some olives in it, some Vermouth, a little bit. That'll get you there even faster than soju. So those are like the drinks that I'll drink right now. I'll still have beers, mostly in public, and even from time to time I'll have a beer here and there. I'll have an IPA. I'll make it an IPA. Like the Bud Light, I feel like I can drink those, in succession. Even a Bud Light on a hot summer day, I wouldn't drink an IPA. I'll drink Bud Light or Light or Coors Light, something like that. A light beer, if it's really hot. I don't want something to hit heavy. But the thing is, the last thing you want to do is, go and get like a 36 pack and have it sitting in your fridge, and then in the month you drink all that down. That's going to make things very, very difficult for you. So have that in mind. Alcohol, you can still drink, but you got to drink different types of alcohol, and you have to watch it, because those different types of alcohol can steer you in a different lane. So you have to actually be very careful with how you manage that. There's some, everything has to be done. Certain things you're gonna have to cut out completely for some time just to get used to it. And certain things you're going to have to manage and mitigate, because we all have our vices. Now, back to the main thing is actually the exercise and the running and the actual intervals you're going to be doing. So important. But what's going to happen is after 2 to 3 months, you're going to start seeing the abs come through. You're going to start seeing them form. Then you want to be working on more other things like your lats, your shoulders, and kind of start sculpting. At that point, you can even go to a personal trainer so they can help you. You might want to upper chest. You might want to develop it even more, go further than that. But for just this video, I'm talking about abs and how to get them to pop out. When summer comes, you want to go to the beach. You want to look like you've changed drastically. What do we have right now? We're in April. So we're almost there. We're kind of like still in spring. Could you get abs? Yeah, you could get something right now. Would it be as pronounced as an 8-pack? Probably not. You would have to have been doing that from before to get to this point. But start now. Get the habits in going so you can even just keep going through summer, and then sometime through summer they will pop out. And of course, some of you guys who already have abs, you're probably like 20 years old and this video is completely irrelevant. But for those of you who are even not abs, just trying to cut down weight, start now. Start, if you can't run, start walking. Start doing something that starts to move the needle and you slowly spiraling in the direction that you want to go to. All right? So I'm 42. I got it. I'm going to show you right now. If you want to hop on my Instagram, you can go and count them. But yeah, and also, I'm going to give you 3 fragrances to get so that you can get compliments. All of these together would be like, $100 each. But these ones are totally exciting. So right now we're in spring. Spring right now, I'll go with a Mont Blanc Explorer. This one smells great. Apple, pineapple type of smell. And birchy, this one right here, for summertime. Once the heat picks up, it's coming up soon, Invictus Aqua. Now this one is actually really hard to get. I got this one when I was at the airport and I saw it and I bought it. This one is, definitely get this one. It's awesome for the summertime. And then like in the winter or even in the nighttime, La Male Ultramale, this one right here. Very, very, very sweet pear and like a bird, sort of like vanilla, right? Those are the 3 right now I would say you should buy. Just if you can get them, just get all of them. This one you probably have difficulties finding, but the other 2 are great. And this one is great for the summer as well. All right, you guys have a great day and start that routine, okay? Peace.